Welcome back, everyone, to our ongoing series with our friends at the Four-County Labor Market Planning Board, delving into a series of new reports that they've published. I'm very excited today to talk about something that I can certainly relate to as a young person that went through this type of thing. We're chatting today with research analyst Kime Ip. Kime, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And actually, I have three kids who are all in that age range too. So this report is really like it's really hits my heart. It hits home. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the report that we're going to discuss today in our ongoing series is Youth on the Move Examining the Why. Now, this is a pretty extensive report delving into a number of topics. And I guess to start things off, I mean, when you say something like that, and again, it's something that I certainly can relate to, as you just kind of pointed out yourself. On a broad range, though, why did the Four-County Labor Market Planning Board feel that research into this topic was necessary for our region?
hmm I think I should begin with describing our mandate because all our work at Fort County Labor Market Planning Board, our work is guided by the organization's mandate, which is one, provide accurate and useful labor market information, two, identify employment tendencies, trends, and opportunities, three, promote and support skills development, and four, raise public awareness of workforce challenges that the region is facing. So when we look at that, um, we've been talking about workforce shortages and the threats of the workforce because of aging population as well as labor shortage for a long time. And the only solution is to replenish the workforce with new talents when the existing workforce age out, and not only that, but also to attract more people to enter the workforce, so that we can kind of stabilize our workforce, right? So so we look at the group of youth. When I talk about youth, we in this project we are talking about youth from age 15 to 29. So we're looking at that group of youth because of their long work lifespan. So if you can engage youth in the workforce here, and they have opportunities to excel, they can stay for a long time, right? So we can have a more stable and resilient workforce. So that's why we have chosen the youth as our research target. And this research in specific is looking at what are the reasons why youth in the region will leave. Like how can we attract them back to the area, and also how can we get more youth from the other regions to come here so that they can work and live here happily like yourself.
Absolutely. I'm a great
Yeah,
example of that. I left the area for a
yeah,
while. I came back. I've worked here for over a decade now. And I mean, again,
yeah,
I certainly relate to these experiences. And we'll also touch on another potential pool in another episode in this series, and that's newcomers, obviously. But when we're
yeah.
looking at this report specifically, Kime, was there anything that you guys discovered during the process of putting this together that stood out to you, that maybe you learned about our region that maybe you weren't aware of prior when it comes to youth in our area?
Yeah. So one of the things that I was pretty surprised to find is that based on the 2021 census data, during the time in 2021, only one third of over one third of young people aged 20 to 29 have high school diploma or equivalent as their highest education. So what does that mean to us? That means if they don't have an opportunity to further their education or get into training to so that they can excel or have a career advancement, they will be staying in the lower income range of occupations, right? And we know that it's difficult to when you have a family, you want to have have improvement, have better job, better paying job. So we wonder. We didn't really dig into that in the report, but we're thinking that we see when talking to some of the youth in our focus group and interview, we see that we notice that um, financial financial constraint and also opportunity to study locally can contribute to some young people deciding not to further their education because maybe they couldn't afford to go away. If even like if they can't find anything that they want to study here. And then the other side of the story is that youth may not be fully aware of what the training and education opportunity we have locally. When we were talking to one of the a teacher in one of the school board who was in charge of the OYAP program, so the youth Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, she mentioned that the biggest challenge is not to engage youth in the program, but is to kind of like dispel the myth that skill training is not post-secondary education. So I think that these two factors compounded that maybe kind of like create a situation where when kids finish high school in the area and they can't afford to go away and they don't see opportunity, they just get stuck in that the certain level of work for a long time. And then the other discovery I found I have is that this is on the national level. The current employment trend is that we actually have more job opportunities or job vacancies for post-secondary diploma and certificate holders than their university counterparts. So meaning that we actually have more and more, we have increasingly more skilled trades opportunities than like maybe more academic jobs. So that what does it say to us then? So when we look at our region, we have Georgian College, we have Fanshawe, we have Conestoga. Conestoga also have some is nearby. So we already have some colleges here who are providing skill training programs, and so we're in a position really to support our youth to get into a post-secondary programs that will kind of like smoothly lead them into a career pathway.
So with respect to that, we talked a little bit in the first episode about the labor market plan with Jordan Meisel, a little bit about some of the things that overall kind of make our region unique. With respect to this report, what's unique about our region? And are there some areas like you kind of mentioned with, expanding people's knowledge of things that are currently available? Are there some areas that we should be trying to focus on as a region in terms of what's available in rural areas like ours as opposed to urban centers?
Okay, so I think first of all, I will kind of like talk about the appeal. So why do our region as a rural area appeal to some of the young people? So we can't appeal to everybody, right? Some people really like the urban living and they ended up leaving and never coming back. But at the same time, there are urban youth who can't wait to get out of the city and come up here. So here are some of those. So when we talk about youth or any population demographics, when we talk about the migration, our migration, we talk about the pull and push factors. So the pull factor is what attract them, what bring them here. So here, first of all, we have low population density. So personal space. So we have it's not like when you walk on out on the street, you're shoulder to shoulder with people like where I came from in Hong Kong, right? Can't imagine that. And then the other thing is that from from the conversations with some of the youth, they said they feel who have been away and come back or who came from the city, they feel that we have a stronger sense of communities. So people really like you get to know each other. But like the good thing is that when you're in need, people come and help. Or you do something bad, very soon everybody will know. So, but that's yeah. But we're not researching on that. But the other so because of the strong sense of community and the in-person the connection with people, they feel that sometimes when you get to a rural area, you just have to eventually connect with the right people, and then if they know that you're looking for work, the kind of work, it is through the word of mouth, through personal connection. Whereas in the city, so many people apply for the one job, and it is the competition could be more fierce sometimes, right? And then the other thing that we have is the easy access to nature. So for those young people who love hiking or going to the beach and all these things, this is a very good area to be with, especially for younger family, because you just step out of the backyard, there you are, you're already on the waterfront in some of the communities, right? Then we talk about the push factor because we are not there's things that people don't like about here. So first of all is the high cost of living. So the high cost of living is reflected by our living wage. So a while ago, we just have the new living wage came out in November. And so when we compare the living wage of our region to a nearby economic region, say London, for example, um, we see that with the income, that there's a bigger difference between our youth median income and the living wage here, meaning like they have a lot to catch up in order to be able to afford to live here, especially for those who are just starting out, right? When you're established, you have a higher paying job. It's not as much as a concern, and that will lead to another push factor. It could be a pull factor is housing. So when the cost of living is affecting you, the first thing that they will affect is your housing situation, because we have more like people are paying more than 33% of their income on housing, and that is very tough for everybody. But then for younger like the older young people who maybe have a good job in the city, and now they're getting to the point of getting married, forming a family, having young children, they will find that dollar to dollar here the housing prices are actually more desirable. For the same price you can get a house when you can only get maybe a large-ish apartment in Toronto, for example, right? So and then the other push factor is that there are kids who want to very specify in certain post-secondary program, right? For example, archaeologists. So we know that we probably won't have work here, but maybe they just very like they just this is what they want to do, and they need to go away. They need to go away and do the study. So those push factors, some of them can be addressed, some may not. But at the same time, like I said earlier, we can also find youth in the urban area who wants to come up too. So the push factor is the pull factor is something that we really want to let people know about.
Absolutely. And before I ask this next question, I do want to point out you can read the entire report, which you should
Mm,
do by going to planningboard.ca/reports. All the reports that we're covering in this series are available right now. You can read and download and check out the entire thing. And on that note, I would ask you, what sort of takeaways or tools maybe would you like people who do go and read the report, which everyone should do? What do you want them to take away in terms of maybe tools or
yeah.
takeaways when it comes to this research?
Mm. I think I would just mention four things. For the rest, you have to read the reports because there really are a lot of things that people will find interesting. and lots of ideas as well. So the first thing is that I mentioned earlier, the youth, when we say youth, it is we're talking about young people between the age of 15 to 29. And this age cohort actually fit really well into the Generation Z. And a lot of research found that Generation Z has very unique needs as opposed to the previous generation, right? And partly because of this rapid development of internet and AI. So they're more connected. They know about things. Even kids who live in a remote rural area through the internet, they see a lot of things about the outside world. So they become more. They tend to lean towards wanting a more inclusive and diverse environment, right? So that's one thing. And then the other thing that we find is that Generation Z really want a life work balance, which the previous generation may not. Like we can work to death and then we get really tired and won't be able to enjoy our life, right? But this is one of the another like very unique thing about Generation Z is that they want life work balance. um, and then the other takeaway that we want people to have is that like I said before, we can't expect all the youth to come back after they leave for university. So we can attract those who wants to come back. We have to have the infrastructure that is youth friendly, and that will lead to my next takeaway. Um, but we can also find ways to reach out to those youth in the who grow up and live in the urban area, who are looking for a way out of the city, who wants this rural life, right? So that is, I think it is this more targeted promotion of the area. Um, and then that lead to my next takeaway. I talk about infrastructure. So it is important to to have the place already ready for youth to come back. So, for example, well, obviously you have to have jobs, but what about young family who needs childcare? So we have a long waiting list for childcare. So how do we address this kind of problem? And these are all about infrastructure. But what really comes down to is that we need to have the region needs to have a youth focused strategy as opposed to a youth relevant strategy. So for a longer description of what the difference between the two, I think people can read the report. But basically, what it is that a youth focused strategy is that you build your strategy based on the youth. So it doesn't mean that you don't look at other people, but youth is the group that who can provide you a longer work lifespan that can support everything, right? So if you can build from that to ensure that the youth, when they come here or when they stay here, they have opportunity, they can contribute the way they want, and can give back to the society, then you will be able to successfully retain and attract young people. And the one tool, I think I would consider that as a tool, is that in the report, in the analysis part, I used a 4-pillar approach to kind of organize all the findings, because I think we've been talking about like how to attract and retain youth for a long time, but it's all different people talk about different things, but they all really come together under these 4 pillars, and we need to have all four. We cannot do without one or any of the ones, right? So these four pillars are education, training, and career pathways. That's just one. And the second one is housing, transportation, and affordability. The third one is connectivity, inclusion, and quality of life. And the fourth one is governance, coordination, and youth voice. So all these pillars work together. When you look at the report, you see that all the finding you can fit them into the different pillars. And then when you look at how these pillars, how do you strengthen these pillars in order to create a platform for the success of youth retention and attraction?
And again, I would stress anyone who's watching this that's interested, read the report. The reports are all available on planningboard.ca/reports. If this all sounds interesting to you, definitely go and read the report. It's free to see, it's free to download, and you'll be able to dig a little more into Kime's four pillars there, among other things in the report. Kime, finally, I'd ask you, how would you say that the information that was found in this report could maybe help support workforce development initiatives for our region? I mean, you kind of touched on some things there, and in terms of the importance of reaching out and having a strategy around youth attraction and retention. How do you feel some of the information in this report can help support some of those initiatives, maybe?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, the information and the outcome of the report is evidence-based, and it is relevant to local context. It's evidence-based because I actually I did go through a lot of different statistics and data. To some are more local, like some can come down to the subdivision of the census subdivision. That means the municipalities, and some are on county level, regional level. So all these data support what we supports the what we talk about here in the report. And the other thing is that through talking to local stakeholders, including young people, we give meanings to this data. So we can verify the data in that it's relevant to our region, and we also have some local stories to tell people how relevant they are. And the other thing I will say is that the reports use a SWOT analysis framework. SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we use that network to kind of analyze the findings. And I think this is demonstrate to any policy makers or any organizations who want to start focusing on strategizing how they can support youth to stay or to come back or to come up. It's give you a more systematic approach to guide you in leveraging the strengths and opportunities, and to address the weaknesses and threats.
Very well said. And again, I'd encourage anybody to go and read this report. It's available right now alongside all the reports that we're covering in this 4-part series, Youth on the Move, Examining the Why by Kime Ip, research analyst with the 4-County Labor Market Planning Board. I can't thank you enough for doing this. There's a lot of great relevant information in this report. And again, I'd encourage anybody to go and read it. You can download it, distribute it, talk it over with colleagues, maybe formulate some ideas yourself on how this could maybe affect your business or your career path. It's all available on planningboard.ca/reports. Kime, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you for chatting with me.
We will be back with another episode very soon. Keep your eyes peeled. And again, visit planningboard.ca/reports to access these reports by the 4-County Labor Market Planning Board.